Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, and I'm going to talk to you guys about today the latest update about the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case that has been going on already. It's just the fourth week now, I believe, and I've been speaking about it since it happened, since the first day that we were informed, the world where it was informed that the mom of Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show was kidnapped from her house and has not been seen since, right? So this is very crazy that this has been going on for so long. Before I continue, I want to thank everybody who's watching using YouTube. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And thank you so much to everybody who's using Spotify right now to listen to this podcast. You can follow me, JulissaDesigns podcast on Spotify. It helps me as a creator, so I want to thank everybody who has been doing that. So you guys, you know, really, it's just very hard to believe that Nancy Guthrie has not been found yet. When you have the top people investigating this case, researching, and to see live feed from outside her house, all this media, these reporters, that, like I said, top officials on this case, the reward is just keeps growing, and now they say they're offering $1 million, and right now there hasn't been anybody coming forward. How many ransom notes they sent to DMC already? No information about that. We have surveillance video that came, I think, after the second week. We have surveillance video, and people trying to identify what's the logo of the guy's shirt. The backpack where he bought it. Some reporters even went to Walmart and bought the same backpack. I don't even know the reason for that. No information, no video from the neighbors' cameras, nobody, no information. Now, what happened today was, it seems as though there was some type of meeting at Nancy Guthrie's home over there in Arizona where she was taken from. And I saw that and I was like, what's going on? Why is everybody meeting up over there? And it turns out that today was, I guess, the investigators were leaving her house. The movement was because the investigator were just now leaving her house. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. So I'm going to read to everybody this article briefly here before I tell you what I think about what's going on. It says here the FBI had made a final sweep on Wednesday, so today, at the home of Nancy Guthrie, and today show host Savannah Guthrie's mom, who has been missing since February the 1st. Okay, so that was the movement that was going on over there. A day earlier, Savannah released a gut-wrenching video begging the public for help to find her missing mom, and who is 84 years old, depends on medication, has limited mobility, and has not been seen since February the 1st. Okay, and now it says here that they were doing their final sweep. Excuse me, I just got confused here. The FBI was doing the final sweep on Wednesday at her house. I guess the movement was that they were just basically, finishing up the investigation, which is very concerning because we have a woman who has been kidnapped and there's no answer about her whereabouts yet. So what is the final answer? Like, what are the leads? They got so many leads. Nobody's giving you the right information. No, nothing is leading to one thing. What I said on my previous video before is that, well, I don't know when was it that I made it, was that it seems to me like this case is just this create, like, as they're searching, excuse me, they're discovering something else. That's, there is a hesitance to kind of like release all the information that they know. And I saw that from the start. She's missing. A whole week passes by, and then they say, we believe that she was kidnapped in the middle of the night, and then they released the photos, right, of the guy that was coming to her door wearing a mask. And it was just, and a week after that, it was the glove that they found. And it was so limited. It's almost like they were like holding on to information and releasing it as they go. And then TMC receiving ransom notes every other day, another ransom note. And then it's like, normally, and maybe we're so conditioned to think about kidnapping just how they do in the movies. It's like when there's a kidnapping and there's a ransom note. I mean, are you kidding me? Then you request a proof of life, and then whatever they, once that's received, then there's an arrangement made to do the exchange. Okay, this is what the money that you asked for, and then you're gonna release, a loved one to us. That was never done. And it's like, what's going on? All these ransom notes, what's going on, right? So, and the demands and everything. So, excuse me, one other thing that I was just thinking about it in this case is that they have video of the man coming to the front door. Where is the video of Nancy coming back home from that dinner that she went to have with her daughter? If everything's being recorded, right? Where is the video of her returning back home? Because at least if we see how she looked like, was she upset? Did somebody walk her to her front door? Was somebody peeping through before she even got back home? Right? Who was driving by us maybe when she left? When she left and they saw the Uber pick her up, because we said she was picked up by an Uber. Where is the video of her leaving her house to go to dinner? Why hasn't that been released? So there's some type of hesitance there. You have footage, but then they first said that they didn't have anything. Then they have the top people researching this case and working on this case. And they cannot release any of that, right? Normally, you will see like in other cases of kidnapping, they will say this is the last photo of this person. She was last seen entering her home, right? How come we don't have that footage of her returning home from that dinner? Did she look upset? Who brought her to the house? Did she look tired or something? And not only that, like, who had the notification? Who had the notification of that alarm, that the ring door camera that usually notifies you, right? That's why the people like it, because it notifies you when somebody's at your front door. If she lives at home, right, you would think like one of her kids will have that connected to their phone too, so that they know, hey, my 84-year-old mom's by herself and I see somebody at her door, like, what's going on? Let me go over there. You would think, right? I don't know. But it's just so many unanswered questions, and it's just so sad. And now they're saying she might be, in Mexico, and we all know the crazy stuff that's happening, especially near the border over there. Well, that happened over the weekend. I don't know if you guys were aware that they captured some big wanted person. I don't know all the details, but I know it turned into big chaos over there, and people protesting, and basically they took over hotels, and burning up cars and things like that, just protesting the whole takedown of that guy. And it says here that the FBI spent several hours at Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home on Wednesday conducting one more sweep for evidence before deciding whether her family can return to the property. The development signals that the investigation into the 84-year-old adoption is at a standstill, and she has now been missing for 25 days. And authorities have yet to identify any suspects. So they're signaling that that this is just a sign that everything has been put on pause basically, and they had it at that end, I guess you can say. And it's so crazy because you think about it. We're talking about a person who was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night, and they have been releasing so many ransom notes, and they're raising the reward, and nobody has said, you know what, I'm done with this. And the reason that I say things like that is because normally on a kidnapping case, kidnapping, a lot of the times, well, the cases that are, made public, it's like, I'm taking this so that I can get that from you, right? That I can get this money. It's a demand thing. They don't want, like I said before, they don't want this to linger for a long time, right? They want to get their money and they want to leave, right? And this has been lingering for so long. And it's like, so many eyes are on this case. There are people who have been camping out her house outside her house since it happened for 25 days already. And there hasn't been any good lead that they can say, we really 100% sure we're about to make some type of negotiation, right? We're coming up with their demands, right? We have a proof of life. It makes you wonder who is leading this thing, right? Meaning from the investigating type of way. They can research. This is the crazy part. Another thing, too, not only that, we haven't seen any footage of her returning back home from that dinner date that she had with her family, returning back home, or leaving and seeing her getting the Uber. We haven't seen the ring door footage of that. And I think that's important because I guess it will let us know her mood, right? Or we can see how, oh my goodness, look at her, she can barely walk. Or we can say, oh yeah, she looks like it's very, on top of things, like she can handle it. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen her mood when she returned back home. And I think that's so important. And they're saying, oh, somebody, right? This is so strange that they get to this detail. Back in like the summertime, I think it was, say, June or July 2025, somebody in Colorado was searching Nancy Guthrie's home address according to Google Trends, right? And it's like, you can get that so specific like that, but you cannot say, you cannot provide like more information when it comes to like who was viewed after that indoor camera. Did that camera disconnected immediately? Who was researching the days before, right? Who was researching the days before? And in that video that came out from the indoor camera, I noticed too that as this man goes down to get the grass that he grabbed to cover the camera, he's saying to somebody, he's saying to somebody, I'm going to put this in the camera. And because he actually moved the grass over the flowers, whatever he grabbed, and then he kind of like pointed to somebody. And I believe that person that came after that, that's why they were covering the camera, is the person that has the familiar face, right? That familiar face that would make Nancy Guthrie open her door in the middle of the night. And I think that's where the struggles happen. That's why there's blood right there at the front door. And also think about it. If he's covering the camera, right? He grabbed that grass to cover the camera. I'm sure he had audio, right? Where is the audio footage? From my, I don't know what camera that was. They say it's a Nest camera. It's 2026. I'm sure it has audio. So I wonder where is that sound from? I mean, where is the sound that been released? Who is heard there? How many voices are heard there? But once again, it's just a big question mark in this case. Something that we have never seen before, and and we need to be so careful about jumping to conclusions we can have questions, but still not jump to conclusions, because at the end of the day, guys, there's still an 84-year-old woman who's still missing, and nobody knows. Well, somebody knows, and they're not talking. But where is she? I question so many things. Now that the neighbors saying again, a couple weeks before that happened, they saw a white minivan driving through the neighborhood. Where that footage from the neighbors, you will think in the area that they live, because houses are so separated, everybody will have a indoor camera. Like, that's, come on. So let me know, guys, what you think about the Nancy Guthrie case. Leave a comment, and we continue to pray for her safe return. Thank you guys so much for coming to the channel, and everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.